Even though the Great Depression brought financial devastation for all of us, it also encouraged people to find many creative and bizarre but affordable forms of lifestyle, leisure, and entertainment that you might not have heard. Welcome to our channel, History Facts, and today let's talk about the creepy things that were normal during the Great Depression. From 1920 till 1939 until the beginning of World War II, it was a challenging period for many Americans. The stock market crash of 1929 washed away all investments of the people. Not only that, but even the savings drained drastically due to the closing of many banks. These badly affected people of all ages across the U.S. They were struggling to survive those hard times. According to the federal government, over 15 million individuals were unemployed. It was projected that over 1/3 of the workforce was unemployed. Food habits, clothing, and even forms of entertainment changed during the Great Depression. People were trying to find an escape from economic uncertainty. People became more innovative in their living arrangements, cuisine, and, most importantly, in their ability to have fun. As the Great Depression swept the country, creativity became an outcome of joblessness. Here are some of the creepy things people did during the Great Depression. Deadly dance marathons. How long can you dance? An hour, or max a couple of hours. But the dance marathons during the Great Depression lasted for days. The dance marathons began in the late 1920s but gained popularity in the 1930s. Prize money and complimentary refreshments drew couples to dance marathons. Participants were given food, accommodation, and the opportunity to earn cash prizes if they continued to dance for hours or days. Hardships we face are nothing against what people did during those difficult times. This is a real hardship, to dance until you are exhausted. The earliest competitions would span a few days, while the latter would last many months. In 1923, when Alma Cummings, 32, set a world record by dancing for 27 hours with 6 different partners. This prompted others to attempt to break Alma's record, and dancing studios across the country began hosting such contests. Many people collapsed and even died on the dance floor. Not only that, but it also led to many suicides. Dares to survive. During the Great Depression, endurance manias were also common. Tree sitters, egg eaters, pie eaters, goldfish swallowers, phone booth crammers, and other similar activities drew local, regional, and national interest because people were curious about how long someone could sit, how much they could eat, or how many people a space could fit. Bicycle marathons and roller derbies were also popular in the country. It was not uncommon for roller derby teams to skate 4,000 miles in 35 days. These endurance competitions served as both a public spectacle and a source of income for the contestants. Many individuals performed unusual stunts like sitting atop a pole for hours or even days. It all started with Alvin Kelly, who in 1930 had some 20,000 spectators watch him hanging on a 225-foot flagpole in Atlantic City, sitting, eating, and sleeping not just for a day, but for 49 days. Other individuals challenged others to swallow live goldfish. It was quite popular in the late 1930s, and the highest number of swallows increased drastically. All-American Soapbox Derby. The Soapbox Derby originally began in the 1930s. Youngsters in Dayton built their cars out of leftover timber and other materials and then raced them down hills in the town. The vehicles did not run on gasoline or any other form of fuel. The automobiles just rolled down the slope, each carrying a youngster. The youngster who got to the bottom of the slope first was the winner. A Dayton reporter, Myron Scott, witnessed one of these contests. He felt that youngsters all around the country would enjoy this sport, so he began to promote it across the U.S. Dayton hosted the first All-American race in 1934, with soapbox racers from all over the country competing. Because of the hillier landscape, the events were shifted to Akron the following year. The All-American Soapbox Derby has been held in Akron since 1935. Akron municipal authorities opted to build a permanent site for the event in 1936. Since the track's completion, thousands of youngsters from throughout the United States and other countries have gathered to race their inventions at Derby Downs. These races stopped only during World War II to allow people to focus on the war effort. Fashion at its best. The luxury industry is usually one of the first to suffer a setback. Most people reduce their non-essential spending to have more resources for necessities. As a result, the fashion industry often suffers with its items labeled as luxuries. But women of the 1930s were creative and didn't allow things like the Great Depression to get in the way of wearing the latest fashions. The American women creatively stayed ahead in fashion despite the economic crunch. In the 1930s, most women stitched their clothes themselves. During the Great Depression, due to the shortage of money, they were forced to use flour bags as clothing. When companies realized that women were using flour bags for making their clothes, they began putting flour in colorfully printed bags with washable labels. A kind move by those flour manufacturers which provided the women with attractive clothing material. It's satisfying to know that generosity did not go away during difficult times. As women couldn't afford fancy buttons regularly, ladies clipped the buttons off old outfits and sewed them onto new ones. Zips have mostly overtaken buttons in women's apparel, and decorative buttons from the past are regarded as collectibles. Upcycling old garments is not a new Instagram trend. It was popular during the Great Depression's economic shortage. Women would cut down old garments of family members and have them adjusted to match their sizes, resulting in a whole new outfit. We must learn from these innovative and creative ladies how to make fashion more ecological and waste-free. Recreation redefined. Some trends cover multiple age groups, with participants including children, adolescents, and even adults. Bicycling and roller skating were predominantly children's pastimes before the Great Depression. However, both became popular among adults during these difficult times. Bridge and board games saw unparalleled popularity, with over 500,000 individuals enrolling in bridge lessons alone in 1931. The game was played by an estimated 20 million people, including children as young as 10 years old. Parker Brothers mass-marketed Monopoly in 1935 and sold 6 million Monopoly games by the end of 1937. Between 1932 and 1933, jigsaw puzzles captivated children, adolescents, and adults alike. Earlier, jigsaw puzzles were costly and hence out of reach of the majority of people. Jigsaw puzzles were handed free as incentives at superstores for purchasing items such as toothpaste or over-the-counter drugs to promote the puzzles. Most jigsaw puzzles bore famous U.S. landscapes, movie stars, and even historical sceneries. Jigsaw puzzles became so popular that they even became the center of attraction not only in the house, but also at clubs and parties. Miniature golf was extremely popular throughout the country. Thousands of miniature golf courses developed around the country in 1930, a phenomenon that had begun in the 1920s. There were just a few courses in the United States in 1928, but 2 years later, there were over 25,000 across the country. Hope you enjoy the video. Don't forget to share it with your friends who would love to know about the creepy things people did during the Great Depression. Subscribe to our channel and click the notification button so that you don't miss out on such interesting topics. Tell us which topic you would love to see next on our channel. Thanks for watching History Facts.